Oh, welcome back. This is a revision that can follow your TDA effort for the story of the Wife of Bath. If you are able to mirror this guiding video, I will give you 50 points and add that to your TDA test score result. So let's say you got 100 out of 100. I will give you 150 out of 100. Let's say you got a 10 out of 100. I would give you then 60 out of 100, right? I would add 50 points no matter what score you got. So this is definitely worth doing. And it's also worth seeing how your classmates have done, right? You'll notice that all of you had a chance to enjoy a exemplar that I gave you that included you putting in order the prompt, the thesis, topic sentence, context, quotation, and then how to explain that quotation well. Some of you took advantage of that, and you'll see that in these examples. Some of you did not. You want to do that. So this was one of the better grades, and you can see that they put their own scores down, and then I put my own scores down as well. Looks like we agreed, by the way. There were some things to think about if you didn't get a good score on this. Number one, if you never read the story that the essay was based on, no kidding, you didn't do well. You didn't know what to write about because you didn't know the story. It depended on the text that you didn't read fully or understand. Um, uh, you've got to make sure that you were on it all week because Friday is when we find out if you really were. And did you use your time wisely? If you used your time wisely, circle that in green, please. If you used your time wisely, you still could have definitely gotten a ton of points in, but you got to make sure that you're focused the entire time. That really does help. So here's our first example. Switch on to highlighter, please, and let's just remind ourselves what the prompt was. It's over here. When telling a story, there are big moments and small moments. How and why does the wife of Bath explode specific moments in her story? Use the text to explain your answer. So they use the entertaining details title, and let's read along with them. The big and small moments in The Wife of Bath is what gets the reader on the hook, with the small moments leading up to a big moment that explodes. I love how they put that idea in their own words. You can see I circled it and wrote good, and I love this use of the word hook. Now I didn't have it down here for the exploded moment part of the rubric, but honestly, I really ought to have. All right, it was absolutely right on point for the student to think, oh yeah, they're trying to hook you in with details. I thought that was genius. The text does a great job on catching the reader. Look how they are focused like a laser right away on the prompt, right? How do they explode moments? Well, they think about the role of the reader and the writer, the role of the storyteller. They're right on it. With a big question, what do most men desire? Is a big question to everyone, has many different answers. An example in the text it states. Now, this part I'm going to be a little bit critical with, right? I think they're setting up the story. It's fine as context, but this is a TDA, meaning the emphasis is on analysis, less so on being able to retell the story. But perhaps they're retelling the story with this amount of detail. Not to be distracted from the thing, but to make a bigger point later. So let's see what they do. Uh, what do women most desire is a big question. Everyone has many different answers in the text. It states, the old hag held up each sleeve in turn. What's this then? She lifts through two black teeth. Love, money, passion, power, beauty, children, long life, family. These are the stuff of women's wishes. Still here, the story is being retold, and I love the inclusion of the quote here. But there was one answer to the big question. We've kind of gotten away from this part here. There's nothing I can mark yellow here, right? There's nothing I can mark yellow here. Oh, let me switch over to yellow. There's nothing I can mark yellow here because it's less focused on the prompt and it's more focused on the story. They kind of got caught up in the story while they were writing. Let's see if they are able to steer back into the story or back into the essay they're supposed to be writing. But there was one answer to the big question that the queen agreed on, which was, in the text it states, the only answer he could recollect was the last one that he'd been told, right? So they still keep going with this long context. Now, it could be that they're going to write a much, much longer essay than they eventually turned in. However, it seems to me like they lost their focus. So I wasn't able to give them all the points that I wanted to on this because after that amazing opening, they kind of fell off a little bit. See where they go from here. This is slide 5. Uh, they is to have their own way in everything, which the queen agreed to an answer, and the old hag had told him, but also forgot that the old hag had told Sir Salvio the answer for the price of him having to marry the old hag. With these was a big and small moments with entertaining details. There they are again. They get right back to it. You can see I circled it as soon as I read it. Right? They got right back to the prompt because that's what it's all about, answering that prompt. They got a really super duper long context. They could have just done that with 3 or 4 sentences and then gotten into the entertaining part where the hag kicks in the door. Let's see another example. This person did really, really well. I was so proud of them. We both used the same color pen, so you can see I had to use my initials there to mark what I decided. And sometimes I gave them a higher score than they gave themselves. Just because I was just so pleased as punch with what they wrote. Let's take a look at their example. The wife of Bath explodes the Hag's Court entrance to entertain her listeners. So they start with something called a topic sentence, right? Do they miss their thesis? Yeah, but it's so early in the year, I'm a little bit forgiving about that. So, thesis, we're wondering where that could be, right? Sir Salvio enters Camelot and then kisses a woman. This infraction almost has him killed at King Arthur's court, but Queen Guinevere gives him a year to answer the riddle, who do women most desire? Um, So this infraction, I love that this noun verb. They were right on it. This noun, the noun is infraction, almost has. There's our verb. So I really like their attention to structure and organization there. After a year of searching, he returns to be executed, and old crone gives him help to clean his shirt, and while talking, she gives him the answer to the riddle in exchange for the promise to marry her. After he successfully answers the riddle, the old hag shows up immediately, and the wife of Bath's story is exploded. This is such a good intro back into it, right? They have a short little bit of context. They have a topic sentence that tells me, oh, I'm sorry, that should be yellow. A topic sentence that tells me where it's all going, and boom, they get right to it after they give me the background they need to. It's a wonderfully gross moment. What a quote. They nailed it. And look, they go right back in to this quotation here. Astonishing. Her legs were knobbled as a chicken's. Boom. This writer is killing it. Here and there, the ladies of the court put their handkerchiefs to their mouths and gave little cries of distaste. End quote. This noun, hilarious, exploded moment. Oh, I love that they include that full noun there, and it makes fun of the unsightly crone. If, see how they have an if and then sentence. I know they're analyzing now. If the wife of Bath had just said, this crone came into the courtroom, then the moment would be unexploded. Look again how they're referencing this prompt and this important attention to humor and hairy detail that the narrator, the wife of Bath, is endeavoring to entertain the pilgrims. They're taking care of the how and they're taking care of the why. I was very pleased. This was one of the few students who takes such good advantage of the exemplar. Absolutely on point. Nice job. This one here, this was a good essay, and there was many excellent moments in it, but it was missing something very essential. So notice how, I want you to highlight this question. How and why does the wife of Bath explode specific moments in the story? And the first thing after a great title choice, entertaining details, right on point, see how it goes with the prompt. The first thing is at the beginning of the story, it introduces Sir Salvio as a very flirty dude. I like everything about that sentence except that it's the first one. Like I said in the last slide, and we're going to switch to text here, and we're going to put a little text box here, an indent. The first one should be a topic sentence, meaning it should get straight to what the essay writer is being told to do, which is to answer the question in yellow there. How and why does the wife of Bath explode specific moments in her story? Well, you want to just put that exact question into a statement. The wife of Bath explodes. And then later on, it looks like they get into when Sir Salvio sort of goes after the girl in the woods. The wife of Bath explodes. A moment between a Sir Salvio and the girl in a green dress. Then, let's see if I can shrink that a little bit. Right? Now that I've got that sentence there, Then I can go at the beginning of the story, it introduces Sir Salvio. I've got my topic sentence. The reader knows what I'm talking about. Now I can retell the story. So the next step that this person wants to do is they want to come up with a quote down here, right? So switch back the highlighter and you can put little quotation marks there. And then they could have built up to that scene, which is intended to be funny. Now, check out on slide 10. I pick it back up. Sir Salvio is brought to the court for his punishment. They decided to decapitate him. What a great verb. Sir Salvio then asks what exactly he did wrong, and Sir Guinevere explains his mistakes. Sir Salvio then says, quote, and I love that we got a quote here. Already we're back into the evidence, and look over here. You get points for evidence. So I see that quote, I go, oop, here's a student that automatically is going to get more points. I don't really understand women. Facts. Queen Guinevere, regretting what she said to do, makes a deal with him. The deal is, well, the deal, right? There's our noun, there's our verb. Sir Salvio has to answer the riddle, which is, what do women most desire? Queen Guinevere then gave him a year and a day to figure out the answer to the riddle. After a little bit of explanation, it is good to have some analysis, right? It's a TDA, text dependent analysis. And we're missing an analysis here. So I suggest an if and then sentence, right? And I remind them, remember topic sentence. Otherwise, it's just an in-depth summary. A good summary, a well-written summary, no doubt. But a summary is not what is being asked for. All right. And that is the last little slide, slide 10. So thank you for following along with this. When you're done, turn it in. You'll want to email Mr. Surface or let him know via Schoology that you completed it, and he'll go in, check it, and then give you those 50 points. Ain't no reason to throw these 50 points away. Excellent effort. Even if you didn't make the cut this round, there will be many, many, many more essays for us to write. Let's get it.